you want to know why they picked him first in the draft, my answer would be, why not?
Ben Simmons, folks, as advertised, so good.
Ben Simmons has definitely been the target of a lot of criticism over the years, but let's not forget just how good he is when he's healthy and committed. Just take a look at this game-winning shot against the San Antonio Spurs in overtime. Simmons came in out of nowhere to send the Spurs home with a loss. Check it out.
Takes him inside. The tip-in is good.
Joel Embiid couldn't come up with the game winner, but everyone seemed to forget about Simmons on that tip-in. What's funny about this clip is that Simmons had just 5 points this entire game. If that doesn't perfectly describe the career of Ben, then I don't know what will. Simmons took his time on this next play against the Celtics in the playoffs. There just wasn't anywhere for him to go with the basketball until he found a way to create space. Look at this.
Take the chance to slip 2 spots. Oh, that was between the legs.
Al Horford was all over the guy as he was posting him up, but Simmons caught something that nobody on Boston saw. That was Dario Saric all alone behind him. That awkward-looking between-the-legs pass was the perfect decision right here to help Saric get 2 easy points for Philly. Now, this next one was arguably the biggest play of his career up to this point, and don't worry, you'll know exactly why when you see it right now.
They want him to shoot it.
And he does.
Yeah, the first half might have been coming to an end, and the rest of his teammates were pushing him to chuck one up, but I didn't think I'd ever get to see this happen. Ben Simmons and three-pointers simply do not coexist. To this day, this is one of the only times we've seen him hit a three-pointer in a legit basketball game. But honestly, he doesn't really need the three-point shot, not when he has athleticism and explosiveness off the dribble like he displayed here on this play.
Simmons, the wraparound chair.
The Brooklyn Nets thought they had him trapped by the baseline until he sidestepped back to his left and threw it down hard on the rim. 3 Nets players were all in front of him at various points, but none of them could even slow him down a little bit. And this next play is just as beautiful. Jimmy Butler started to cut towards the rim, and Simmons instantly caught it while he was coming up the court. Instead of just giving the secret away, he played patiently and did this.
Toronto shooting just 5 of 16 from the field. Simmons, oh, beautiful look from Simmons down to Butler.
Everything about this pass was smooth. Probably wouldn't have been as successful had he not remained patient throughout the play, though. Those precise movements made Butler's job ridiculously easy. Daniel Theis's job, on the other hand, is not so easy. He is constantly tasked with defending the rim, where players like Simmons love to attack. No matter how hard you try, sometimes you just get slammed on, and Theis found himself in this exact position when Simmons attacked the rim here.
He could have had a pass and a dunk.
And Simmons punching it over Theis.
Yeah, Theis tried his best to backtrack to the rim and deflect the ball out of his hands, but Simmons was already detonating into the air, and he threw it down hard with one hand. Listen, there's just not anything you can do here. You just have to accept the loss and move on. And that's exactly what the Miami Heat did after Simmons beat them all with an alley-oop slam late in the fourth quarter. Check out how it went down.
Play was drawn up. The Sixers interrupted that, but they went to Ellington direct.
Simmons ran around a teammate's screen, and Josh Richardson pretty much knew what was about to happen when Ben looked back at the ball. Richardson was close to the play at least, but that just doesn't cut it when it comes to actually stopping it from happening. And how the Celtics tried to defend Simmons here didn't quite cut it either. They attempted to chase him from the paint to the three-point line and get him out of his comfort zone with some pretty intense defense. The only problem was that they forgot about his playmaking ability, so look what happened next.
Good matchup. Morris and Simmons.
Simmons just takes it across the line. Fultz! What a play by Simmons!
A beautiful behind-the-head pass from Simmons to Markelle Fultz capped off this play. Kyrie Irving looked like he was supposed to be guarding him, or at least paying attention to him, but he got distracted when Simmons ran over to his direction. Once again, his patience with the ball allowed the 76ers to get 2 easy points. And really, who doesn't love easy points, am I right? Simmons just makes these things too easy for his teammates sometimes. Just ask Joel Embiid after this play.
Enough, and sure enough, he did. The faith in him paid off.
Simmons behind the back to Embiid. Joel getting his first bucket of the game.
Simmons took LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets on a ride down the court before flipping that perfect behind-the-back dime to Embiid as he stumbled to the rim for 2 points. It's so easy to get caught up in the handling and movement that Simmons has with the ball that you don't realize the play setting up around him sometimes. That's just what he excels at. Check out this play where he catches a tipped ball with one hand and then flings it all the way down the length of the floor to a sprinting Tobias Harris.
He's covered, right? The improvement made. Wow. Nice look.
There wasn't even any build-up or added motion to that play from Simmons. The ball literally just happened to hit his hand when it bounced, and he just used that momentum to fire it off down the floor to a teammate. There's really only a handful of guys in the league who can make a decision like that on the fly and all in one motion, too. Now, in this next play, I'm going to tell you what Ben Simmons probably told the New Orleans Pelicans. He probably said, "Get out of the way." And spoiler alert, they definitely did get out of the way.
Backboard for any kind of support.
Wait, Davis gave it away. Simmons at the center of it all, and he'll slam for 2 again.
Simmons flew down the center of the court, and instead of the Pelicans actually defending him, they just chose, well, not to. Drew Holiday was the only player that actually looked like he was about to step over, but nobody really did much of anything. Simmons might not be feared in the slightest when he's behind that three-point line, but he's a different force of nature when he's running down the floor at full speed with a runway. And he's also dangerous when he's seeking out playmaking opportunities. Watch him dismantle the defense here to give a beautiful feed to Joel Embiid. Simmons hit him with a fake out here. The first one came while he was in front of the defender, and the real one came shortly after when he got behind him. Talk about messing with the dude's head. He probably had no idea where the ball was going, but had to defend both Simmons and Embiid on the same play by himself. I'm certainly not jealous of that guy's situation. Alright, remember a couple clips ago when the Pelicans literally just got out of the way when Simmons was coming down the floor? Well, they aren't the only ones who did that. The Sacramento Kings did their best Pelicans impression here on this play.
Point lead. Oh boy.
I mean, seriously, Sacramento, Simmons got around one defender without even really having to do much, but then no one else even cared enough to stop him. De'Aaron Fox gave a slight hand gesture his direction. That was it, though. Not even any rim protector to at least contest. Ben certainly took advantage of that lazy defense, though, by throwing down that monstrous slam. Sometimes when you're watching Simmons play basketball, it kind of looks like a 2K animation, and this play is a wonderful example of that. Take a look.
Simmons has Aaron Holiday now on a switch.
Trying to clear out and take him, give him some space.
Here he goes, and he slams for 2.
You guys get what I'm saying here? The way he just glides to the rim and rises with two hands to throw it down hard on the Pacers? It all just looks like a standard video game dunk. That's not to say what he's doing isn't special, don't get me wrong, because it certainly is, but it's just oddly reminiscent of that kind of dunking style you see in the games. Not all of them are like that, though. Like this next one, for example, Simmons soared over a Washington Wizards defender to cap off a perfect alley-oop pass in the middle of a game. Watch this.
Well, he can score, and he can score in bunches. We talked about, again, that Cavalier game last year when he was in Cleveland. Wow.
You really can't put the ball in the money any better than that. Simmons was the only person on the floor who had a chance to snatch that ball out of the sky. Now, that's how you build some chemistry right there. Now, most of the time, we're always looking for those big, flashy plays, but sometimes it's the little ones that can make all the difference. Simmons chose to hit the Kings with one of those patient yet effective moves here in this clip.
Out of the last 8, 4 in a row, they didn't get the memo.
Simmons, nice look for Green.
He just takes the defender on a bit of a ride before throwing a no-look dime behind him to a cutting teammate who finishes it off by scoring 2 points. Then finally, we come to the last play from Simmons. This was a perfect example of the kind of two-way player he is. Simmons doesn't run back on defense here, but instead stays back to intercept a pass right away. And look at how it ended.
Clock, nice steal. Cephalosha read it perfectly. Back comes Simmons. Oh!
The Utah Jazz instantly knew they were in trouble after that pass. Thabo Cephalosha tried to block it at the last second to save 2 points, but it didn't matter. Simmons was already soaring towards the rim with momentum after picking that steal up. I'm telling you, Simmons has gotten a lot of criticism, and probably deservedly so, but sometimes we just forget about the great aspects of his game in the process.